Man, I just walked to Cumberland. This is Cumberland right here. This is Central and Greenlee. This is Cumberland House right here, or Cumberland, whatever the fuck it is, like Cucumberland. Norman and Greenlee is right here. What I wanted to say was, this area is like, I dreamed of this. Like, this is what I wanted my world to look like. I just literally walked some houses that have maybe M-A-B-E-E labels on the front of the house. One that says Graves, Graves, and I mean, there's another sign, I forgot what that one was. But as I walked up here, I was like, damn, like, in my dream of what I wanted the world to mimic, was like me helping people out, families, especially single parents, no matter if it's man or woman, or especially domestic violence people, because I was in domestic violence situation myself, helping them out and putting them in houses that look like this, literally. And this is it right here. It even got a little pool, and the pool, I was like, damn, this pool is shaped something I seen in my dream, like a symbol, but it looked like a Liberty Bell. See, it's Cumberland Youth and Family Services. Now, this is private property, and this is Central and Greenlee. You know, Central was a high school I had went to in Battle Creek. Anyway, I just had to point that out. But and it's funny that it's on Green and Lee. So Green is my family last name. Shout out, gang, gang. You hear me? I just walked up, and this is Islamic Society of Denton. Sit right here, and it has a little moon symbol at the top of it. I don't know if y'all can see that little moon circle, whatever, circle, circle, dot, dot type of shit. Okay, so this is off of Neff in Greenlee, right? Neff, N-E-F-F in Greenlee, the Islam, the Nation of Islam type shit right here, right? I made videos on this, so I ain't gonna go into detail, but that is literally Central and Neff. Now, I don't know what Neff means, but I'm gonna look it up and see, you know. But anyway, like I was saying, I had a dream. Been had this dream since I was little, that I was like a captain of my ship, and if I ran the world type shit, you know, this is what it would look like. But, you know, I think the forces of the other side, you know, robbed us, you know, pried my ass. That's what I'm trying to say. And took my ideas and stuff. Because everything I feel like that I've showed you and discovered, I haven't discovered it for the first time. It literally has been stolen, you know. I'm just saying. And, you know, it's time to get it back. So the tables are turning now, and I'm rediscovering or remembering, goddamn it, that's what the fuck I'm doing, that this is like my shit. All this shit came from my damn brain and stuff, you know? And I had to go through what I went through, you know, to get to where I'm going to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even though, you know, I've been to jail, you know, I've been abused, you know, all this shit on my arm and stuff like that came from motherfucker who fought me and everything. But, you know, I had to go through all that for a fucking reason, man. This shit wild in the bitch. Because I wouldn't have been the person I am now had I not gone through everything that I've been through. I'm talking about being ignored, being talked about, you know, not being treated fairly, family not giving a fuck about me. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through all that shit, and I remember all of it. you know. Just like I'm coming on this license plate, they say TWD like The Walking Dead, and it says 6019 at that, you know. Don't let me go there about these goddamn numbers and shit. But anyway, let me see what Neff mean. I'm curious. That Neff means nephew and his sister's son, right? Now, later on, it translated into nepotism. Nepotism. Okay. I see. Anyway. Now, I don't know what that means for me and my kids, but I know what it means for me and my brothers. You hear me? Anyway, I'm just past this road called Peak. Peak, P-E-A-K. I mean, I really don't know what that means, but I know that I'm off of Collins, and when I get to Bernard, it's like a whole bunch of power lines and stuff that's over here. They lead directly to the train station. You know, they lead straight to motherfucking Denton County Transportation Authority, because you know this is our avatar and we port in this motherfucker because this is our vehicle type shit, you know. But anyway, I'm tired of talking about this shit, and I ain't gonna repeat myself, but it's a hot and cold line that's over here too, off of Collins, after I get down here that hill and shit, literally right by the train tracks on the corner. Because it's like I said, when you get to the corner, you'll see a lot of transformers and shit. You hear me? Even wilder is that this house is 54, and that's my Jersey number, and you'll see that on my TikTok, 54. This says sent by the king, and then this is Chi Alpha, this place right here. And on the corner of Chi Alpha is 227. It's 2277, but 227 is significant because that's the telephone number that that I grew up with. So anyway, 1100 is Chi Alpha right here, and it's sent by the king. And then on the corner right here is, hold on, let me turn my camera. Cleveland and Collins, right? Cleveland and Collins. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's a cemetery that's IOOF, Independent Order of Oddfellows. Right down this street is Cleveland. Like, Cleve is my son's last name. Yeah, Cleve. And it says Cleveland, right? Sit by the king of the Chi Alpha. Yeah, hold on. There's Cleveland and Collins. Hold on. Let me get Cleveland. There's Cleve. You know. So C-L-E-V-E is my youngest son's last name. Yeah. And you see it's by these water dickety-doo days, whatever. That's literally by these power things, and it lead directly to the power. But anyway, well, the transformers rather. You hear me? So, like, I know how this world is, and I don't be one to admit shit or nothing like that. But you know, I mean, something shit. And then here's like a dip. I don't know what that is, but it's blocked off by some apartments. It looked like a swamp or whatever, but there's no water in there. But it's like cut off, like it's some water in there. I don't fucking know. But you know, we living in this underground, backwards ass world. I don't know what is what. And then you get this apartment complex right here off of Fort Worth, y'all, Drive. I can't. This shit wild in the bitch. And the apartment complex on this big ass motherfucking hill over here off of Collins in Fort Worth. You know, and Fort Worth, you know, they had all the wars and shit like that. And I mean, the first street off of Fort Worth and Collins is Cleveland, and it leads to the motherfucking IAA cemetery. Y'all, I mean, what the fuck is going on if I don't see what's going on? I mean, I know what's going on, but do you know what's going on? Anyway, let me continue my walk. Maybe it'll come to me, and I can easily tell you shit. And then, after that, you know, it's called Gateway now. Don't forget, Gateway, motherfucker. You know, it's this gate of a sewer, you know what I'm saying? Like, indicating that that was water that leads to this hut on the road again in Myrtle and Collins, this towing, because that's what the fuck they done did. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, because this is, remember, we are vehicles and shit. Anyway, so anyway, let me show you behind on the road, because Myrtle Beach right here, you know, after this, you know how divine timing works. It's this transformer. You see the power? Those substations and shit. You know, like Rosa Parks didn't get off her motherfucking seat on the bus, cause, you know, you hear me? Sub and bus. You flip it. Mirrors, right? Anyway, remember, locusts is in the Bible. Set the stuff at the substation and shit. You know, that's electric. It's electric. Do, 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 do. You hear me? Anyway, my birthday, 6/7/8. Oh shit, that's fucking wild in the bitch. Right at the substation. You hear me? The sub bus station. You hear me? The electrical. The municipal. Yeah, they stupid. My birthday, 6/7/8. Oh shit, that's fucking wild in the bitch. Right at the substation. You hear me? The sub bus station. You hear me? The electrical. The municipal. Yeah, they stupid. You know, locust is the revelation in the Bible. When the bugs came and shit like that. But a loc is location. You know, locate. That's what the fuck that mean. Locate the bullshit. You hear me? Let me show y'all these things on the ground over here. That's red and blue. As I cry, I gotta wait. I gotta wait. Hold on. Hot and cold. Hot and cold. You see that? Hot and cold. What the fuck? What that mean? Right here. And you see the train station. Or not, it ain't, okay, it ain't a train station. It's the train tracks. But anyway, that's where I'm going. Because, you know, homeless people always find their way back home and shit. That's how I find these trails. Y'all be blessed. Goddess gang in the building. Let's say this. Y'all see this church right here? Monte Basin, Iglesias de Jesus Cristo, whatever. With the mountaintop and shit like that. Now look at this church. This looks like the church, the anime. You know, what love got to do with it. You know, when she was singing some shit. Don't it? But that's just to me, in my opinion. I mean, like I said, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. This is the mountaintop, and it definitely just telling you this shit right here. But anyway, because I know that words are spells, Plymouth is Plymouth. You know, the mouth of the South. You know, wood and shit, because ply is wood. You hear me? I think what was over here was storage. The fuck is going on over here? Anyway, what's crazy is that when you come off the dead end of Collins, after we pass all that power go through the train tracks and stuff, you know, at the Underground Railroad. You come, and you get to the streets, right? So Johnson is the first street you'll see, but off of that is Smith Street, which, you know, Smith is like one of the common names that's in the world, you know, Smith, like Will Smith, Blacksmith, you know, whatever, you know, the Smith. Anyway, off of Smith in Dallas Drive is this tattoo place called Arsenal. Like arson. No. Arsenal. Yeah. Y'all know what Arsenal means? Because it could be, it could mean bullet, but you know, it's crazy because it's 700, you know, 700. You know, that what it say? And you know, 7 is the day I was born. You know, I was born on the 7th day. You know. Anyway, but the 7th day was Saturday, you know. You hear me? But anyway, y'all, this shit wild in the bitch, okay? So I ain't done because the way this land works is that it's stuff that be hidden in plain sight. Because like I said, Smith is the most common name after coming from this area, and on the corner of Dallas Drive and Smith is Elevated Chiropractic. When when they crack your back and shit. And then they have Tech Vera. Then they have something with employment. I don't fucking know what it's called. But anyway, that's on the corner. Cornerstone something. And it's Dallas Tech Center, though, you know. And then they have the Lawn Land. You know, law with an N. Land. That's what it says. Right here in advance, all the parts and all this other bullshit is after that. Like, I mean, it's really telling a story, but we don't know because it's hidden in plain sight. We don't know ourselves, and you know, because we've been chopped and screwed. Anyway, if y'all don't get it, oh well, the fuck. This is how I know we backwards, living in a dream, because Nightmare on Elm Street literally is about some shit. Them discovering some shit. You hear me? Like Christopher Columbus did with his discovery and everything like that. Because it's a discovery park, and the engineering people, the mathematicians and shit like that, engineer some old scandalous bullshit. You hear me? Yes, I'm in the bathroom at work at the Penny. Because I'm getting ready to shit on you niggas. You hear me? Now I done left work early and came immediately to the washing fold. And I always wonder, since, you know, because we playing Alice in Wonderland and shit like that, and The Wizard of Oz, and The Nightmare Before Christmas, and The Nightmare on Elm Street, and all these goddamn movies, you know, always resonated with me, you know. Like I said, we backwards. We the Walking Dead, living in a dream. Now, listen now. I know what I'm talking about. Give me a second. Because I'm finna trace Elm Street. Because I know that Aladdin's Castle, you hear what I said? It's on Elm Street. And Elm Street go all the way to Discovery Park. Let me look at the map right quick. I think I'm on to something. And I just pointed out that I'm at the Washington Fold. Because, you know, Washington folded our fucking story. You hear what I'm saying? You see the significance in the parallel? You hear me? Because, you know, Jesus parted the Red Sea. Isn't that what the Bible numbers say and everything? Now, and he walked on water, y'all. That what the Bible say. Now. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, whatever the hell his name is, don't he wear red? And so does Santa Claus and stuff like that. in Wizard of Oz, they didn't have any red, but in the eyes they did. They had red. You know, follow the yellow brick road or whatever. And when they went to, when Michael Jackson and Diana Ross then went to, you hear what I'm saying? Went to the Emerald City, it turned green, yellow, and gold. That would happen in the Wiz, because you know black people always tell the truth and shit. You know, hear me? Anyway, and Jason wore a mask. You hear me? You know, a mask. He wore, like, you know, not the makeup mask, but he wore an actual mask, you know, Halloween mask and shit like that. But you take it off and show his true colors and stuff, you know. And then Jason also carried a motherfucking knife. And didn't Jesus get stabbed with a knife? Yo! He shed blood and stuff like that, you know, blood gang, you know. Tales from the Crypt. That's why they had Crypt and stuff. What is it? Crypt, Bloods and Crips and shit. You hear me? Oh my God. And the colors is blue and red and shit. Huh? And it made it seem like it was a rivalry. But it really wasn't. It was a fight for territory. But they didn't know what they was fighting for. They thought they was fighting themselves, but they really wasn't. They really was fighting a spiritual battle, but they couldn't tell because they was confused because they was getting fried and shit. You hear me? Because they got a fried street and did too, I keep talking about. Off of Curry. Fry. And what that other road is, Hickory. Hickory Dickory Dock. You know? The clock and everything. And this here rat, you know, because you know when you rap somebody out and shit like that, you know, that was a whole chaos spell too, because you know, this is some bullshit. That all came from one motherfucking source, you know, the Alpha and everything, because they bet on it. You hear me? The spell. And then the IOOF, which is the Independent Order of Oddfellas, would look like 100 F, you know, so they. You know, Jesus ordered our steps, right? Because our steps are already ordered, right? So, I mean, they got this cemetery here in Denton. I mean, they have it at other places, but specifically I'm talking about Denton, because they put a dent in this motherfucker. You hear me? Texas did. You know, and I find it really ironic, but no coincidence, that we have a Prosper, you know, Texas. And you know, in the Bible it say, what it say about Prosper, y'all? Huh? I mean, ha! Now I done heard it through the grapevine, because clearly we got a grapevine Texas in this motherfucker too, and a dish Texas too, because you know the dish, you know, a dish served best cold on the table and shit like that, because I'm shaking this motherfucker. You hear me? Because you know the U, like the unicorn. Unicorn. I find it ironic that that's corn. You know what I'm saying? They got a corn kits in this motherfucker too, off of Eagle Drive and Dallas Drive, and it literally turns into Spur. You know, the Spur is the U on a horse and shit like that, but a Spur is a U. You hear me? And you know how U is like a boomerang, and boomerang back to you motherfucking asses, like, cause when you flip it. Oh my God, this shit is crazy. But anyway, you know, again, we got a First Federal Underground Center because, you know, the federal government, you know, is the control, and they ordered our steps independently, right? But I mean, because federal, that's why I said Washington earlier when I'm at the Washington, because he washed every motherfucking thing since he was the first president and stuff. He sat at the table with the 56 men and came up with some declaration. Excuse me. Confirmation, Declaration of Independence. But I'm gonna keep this video short. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm still trying to do my little research on Elm Street, on the Nightmare on Elm Street. But like I said, Christopher Columbus discovered some shit, you know, and we got a Discovery Park. And then on top of that, off of Mayhill, you know, it's a treatment plant by Flowers Bakery. And you know, Christopher Columbus came over here on the Mayflower, but it's Mayhill in the Flowers Bakery, you know, because I'm cooking and everything. You hear me? But anyway, you know, because Jesus walked on the water, and water is all around this motherfucker. Because I keep showing y'all these little dippity doo-dah days. There's actually one over here by the wash. You really can't see it because these cars is blocking it. But then this one has a black and white sign like a piano, and it's across the street from La Laguna, you know, like Laguna Beach and shit like that. But you know, I mean, and then South Lakes or North Lakes or whatever the fuck is over here. It's over here by Eureka Park and stuff like Eureka type of shit. American Florist Cleaner, because this is the floor, and they done cleaned it, you know, with the wash and everything. But yeah, I'm just here just pointing out the obvious. Y'all be blessed though. Goddess gang is in the building. Gotta point out, because you know I'm from Michigan, where we made the corn flakes, and that was the first thing you ate in the morning and stuff like that. You know, Kellogg and Post and everything. You get my dish. Yeah, I need to remember that the first federal underground center that they got ever in America is off of Loop 288. I mean, it's not off of, it's on Loop 288, and we living in a loop, you know, a loophole and shit like that. But loophole is a black hole and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the dream. We are living in it. And when we sleep, we are alive. But we don't know it because we've been fried. Because, you know, Einstein and all them people that they supposedly created all this light and all this bullshit really created some shit to keep us in an order, in a row. Anyway. But what they forgot was we are all connected. And in the story that they tell in the Bible, the tables always turn, like the last shall be first. Those are always stories we've been told. We just never knew how it was going to flip or turn or whatever. You hear me? We always thought it was supposed to be a war and all this other stuff, but wars cannot be here in America. So what they can do is create chaos, like this bullshit, and then because they put everything in the blender and mix it all up, like the Dorothy did in the story, you know, got in a hurricane and stuff like that, and she got toppled to another damn place, and she wanted to go home to Kansas by clicking her red heels and all that other stuff. Like, these are stories that they tell us thinking that this is not true, but in reality they have to tell us stuff hidden in plain sight. You understand? They have to, because that is the order, right? The order from source, not the order from the fucking Sky Daddy and shit that, you know, y'all think it's white. But anyway, because this is Mother Earth, and I had to throw that in there because, you know, whatever. That's just how I am. Y'all be blessed though. Book, you know, that y'all need to listen to is the book of your heart, literally, because that's the electrical pump, and it's exuding, you know, like a battery and stuff like that. It has a frequency, because we are all electrical beings. We are spiritual beings and stuff like that. So your heart is the true frequency that you need to be listening to. That's the book, you know. And in my book, you know, because they do got a love field in this motherfucker, you know. I mean, it's in Dallas, right? But anyway, the airfield at that, because I told y'all we living in a hot air balloon gas bubble and shit like that, like Famous Amos with a T and stuff, you know, because the Jesus supposedly died on a cross, but it wasn't a cross. But it's funny that, you know, the cross is T, Texas, like, but he really died on a tree, and we are roots, because we grow from a seed, like an egg and all that other bullshit. But you know, like I said, like, we don't know who we are because we have been suppressed and lied to, bamboozled, and hoodwinked. You hear me? Anyway, excuse me, I'm done. Book, you know, that y'all need to listen to is the book of your heart, literally, because that's the electrical pump, and it's exuding, you know, like a battery and stuff like that. It has a frequency, because we are all electrical beings. We are spiritual beings and stuff like that. So your heart is the true frequency that you need to be listening to. That's the book, you know. And in my book, you know, because they do got a love field in this motherfucker, you know. I mean, it's in Dallas, right? But anyway, the airfield at that, because I told y'all we living in a hot air balloon gas bubble and shit like that, like Famous Amos with a T and stuff, you know, because the Jesus supposedly died on a cross, but it wasn't a cross. But it's funny that, you know, the cross is T, Texas, like, but he really died on a tree, and we are roots because we grow from a seed, like an egg and all that other bullshit. But you know, like I said, like, we don't know who we are because we have been suppressed and lied to, bamboozled and hoodwinked. You hear me? Anyway, excuse me, I'm done. And we're all energetic frequencies, right? And frequency is like music, because that is the sounds of the universe, right? And the fact that the University of North Texas, because this is a university, you know, right? The universe city, like universe, the universe has, you know, one chord. Anyway, what I was trying to say was University of North Texas is a musical. That's what they're known for, is music, and didn't just so happen to be Music City. Boy, that hidden in plain sight is fucking crazy. That the fact that we ride by and we like we pass it and we, you know, we just don't pay attention because, you know, we don't know why we here. We just here. But I'd be damned if I'm just a slave to this system. I'm the mouse of the South, and I'm gonna speak my damn piece, goddammit, because I understand it's peace when I speak. You hear me? You hear what I said? Oh, Edward Scissorhands and stuff.